Hello guys and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. Today we are going to be testing out some new makeup, which is always so much fun. I love doing that just in general, but especially for videos. I made a huge purchase from Ulta, which I am actually going to haul, and that'll probably be up before this, so you probably would have already seen it, but I picked up a ton of new stuff that I've just been eyeing for a really long time, that I've just been really wanting to try. It's not all necessarily like brand new makeup that just came out. Some of it is, but some of it is also just stuff that's new to me that I've been wanting to try. So actually, most of it is fairly new. This is the look that we came up with. I actually changed my lip, and I know you can't really see my eye makeup when my glasses are on, but this is the look. I did purchase more items than what I tried out just because I only have one face to try them on, but definitely check out the haul if you haven't seen it already. It's got some good stuff in it. This video has some good stuff in it, and actually, spoiler alert, I loved everything that I tried, which is crazy but really exciting. If you guys are interested in seeing all the products that I tried out and how they apply to my face, just keep watching and let's get started. Okay guys, I got you zoomed in a little bit and we're going to get started. Do you like my little headband? I got this from Ulta. It's like kind of like a towel material, but it's like really perfect for keeping your hair back, so I'm gonna be rocking it during this video. So my skin is already prepped. All I did was spray some of my Mario Badescu lavender face spray, and then I just used my e.l.f. booster drops to moisturize, and that is all that is on my face, so I'm ready to crack into the foundation. I'm sure you guys have heard a ton about this foundation. It's been like all over YouTube. It is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation, which I was so excited to try this as soon as I saw it, because you guys know I really like a luminous kind of base. So Light Illusion sounds good to me, but I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm actually very tan. I have been going tanning, so I'm actually very tan, like much more tan than my normal color. So I got the shade Natural Beige M1, which is the first shade in like the medium range. I think it starts with like L, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into M. So I got medium. As you guys can see, whenever I go like spending time in the sun or when I go tanning, all my freckles come out, so I'm like very freckly right now. But I do like my freckles to show through. I really like my freckles. And I think this is supposed to be like a full coverage foundation, but I'm not really looking for full coverage right now because I kind of want my freckles to peep through. But that is a good way we can test this foundation, because if it covers my freckles, we'll know that it's full coverage, and if it doesn't, that's totally okay, but then we'll know that it's really not as full coverage. The bottle just says Luminous Makeup Nude Skin Feel All Day Wear. It has SPF 18. That's such a random number, 18. So actually on Ulta's website it says it's buildable coverage, which sounds good to me. I'm not doing like a, how do you, oh, I was trying to twist it off. It does not twist off, it comes off because there's a pump. I literally haven't even opened this till now. I literally haven't touched this, I haven't swatched this. As you can see, I haven't even opened it before. I really thought this like turned off, but no, it has a pump, which is dope. But this is not really like a foundation review or anything like my normal foundation videos. This is just me kind of playing with some new makeup that I recently got. So I'm not gonna go too crazy reviewing the foundation, and I'm not gonna do like a sponge and a brush. I'm just gonna use a brush because that's what I'm into right now. I need a mirror. It actually does look pretty dark, so it might be perfect. Oh yeah, this might work actually. Okay, so that was just one pump. I'm gonna take like tiny bit more, like not even half a pump more from my forehead. And I'm just using my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush to blend this in. I think this color is like literally perfect, which is shocking because when I pick out foundations online, I never do a good job. It's too hard to tell. That is literally like the perfect shade for me. I think it matches my neck almost perfectly. So it is super dewy looking, which I love. I feel like I would consider the coverage to be like almost full, like high medium, because I definitely feel like my skin tone is like really evened out, but I can still see, like, especially my cheeks where my freckles are like the most prominent, I can definitely still see my freckles. I don't really have a lot to cover right now. Like, I don't really, thank goodness, have any like active breakouts or like redness or anything like that. But the freckles are kind of the true test, and I can still see them a little bit, but really everything looks completely evened out. It looks really, really, really smooth. I love the way it's just like laying on my skin. Like, it just looks like, kind of like it says, like a second skin. It just looks still like my skin because it doesn't look heavy or makeup-y, but it looks really, really even and like really healthy because of how glowy it is. And I also feel like this packaging is just so nice. Like, it's super, super heavy. It's like a really nice glass bottle. And I obviously love the pump. And I just feel like the detailing on it too, like with the flower there and metal, the rose gold thing. I mean, this is like a $14 foundation. So it's definitely a little bit like higher end for the drugstore, which is kind of how Flower Beauty is in general. But it is really nice packaging. And so far, I'm feeling it. So sticking with the Flower Beauty theme that we started off with, I also have the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, which this is what I was honestly more excited to try than the foundation even, because I just heard almost everybody that tried this has raved about it. The foundation has gotten kind of like mixed reviews, I feel like, and even on Ulta, the reviews are only like 3.5 stars or something. So this is not like widely raved about, but I feel like this really is because it's full coverage. It says it has a weightless feel and it's crease proof. I got the shade, what shade did I get? L3-4 Light. So there's definitely not as many shades in the concealer as there are in the foundation, and I don't really like a super light concealer, but I also didn't want to go too dark, but I'm kind of afraid this is going to be too light. So it just has your typical like doe foot applicator. It's kind of like an elongated doe foot applicator though. Like, I feel like it's kind of stretched out, and it's also like angled a little bit this way. Wow, this foundation, guys, looks really, really good, and I love the color. Like, I feel like this is my perfect shade right now. My normal skin color, this would be way, 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 way too dark. I'm just going to try this under my, oh, this looks really light. I'm not gonna do too much because I don't have a lot to cover, and I don't really like a lot of concealer. This might be way too light, but I guess we'll see. And I always just blend out my concealer with my finger, so I'm gonna do that. Is very similar to that foundation because it's definitely like luminous. It's not matte, and it's not like drying out my under eyes at all, but I do feel like the coverage is pretty good. But I don't know if I would say like full coverage. I don't really have much in the sense of like super dark like bags or under eyes, but I can see like a tiny bit of darkness. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's still a little bit of darkness like peeking through, which I don't mind, and I don't like need super full coverage, but I don't think that I would consider that to be full coverage. Okay, so I think we're 2 for 2 so far. I think the color for this could be a little bit better. I think the color for this is freaking spot on, but I think in terms of Flower Beauty products, we are killing it. Okay, so I just hopped off camera to do my eyebrows and powder my face because I don't have anything new for those two products. I just use my e.l.f. brow pomade for my brows, and then I use my NYX HD powder, just the translucent one, for my face, and my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder under my eyes. So now we are moving on to the rest of the face products, which I am so excited about because I grabbed the new Physicians Formula Deep Bronzer Butter Bronzer, which I'm super excited to try this. I have the regular butter bronzer, and I just love it for the smell, and it is really nice because it's a little bit luminous, and that's what I'm into. But when I knew they were coming out with the darker bronzer, I was pretty excited because that one is just not dark enough, but we're gonna give it a go. You can smell this bronzer, like it's not even open yet, and it's all the way over here, and I can freaking smell it already. Oh my gosh, I'm like obsessed with this freaking smell. So this is the product. I feel like it might work, and I just love how it's like, so got a sheen to it. I just love luminous products. I also just love how this is like wrinkly looking. I don't really know. So I'm just using my little Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm just going to do the normal bronzing spots. And ooh, okay. It definitely shows up. I was so concerned because the current shade I am, the other one just doesn't really show up on me almost at all. But this is freaking perfect. Wow. Wow. Do you see that? That looks so good. That is such a perfect like undertone. It's a little bit like, not orange, it's like almost a little bit of a red undertone, at least on me, which I really, really like. That's like my preferred bronzer kind of shade. Ooh, this looks really good. And I just love how it's not like luminous, but it's also not matte. It's like somewhere in the middle where when you put it on your skin, it just looks really natural and really healthy. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking loving this. It's kind of rare that I try a bronzer and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love it. Because to me, like, I love bronzers. I have a ton and I love using bronzer because I just feel like it completely changes your look. Like the second you put it on, you just look a million times better. But in terms of like actual bronzers themselves, I never really use one and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in love, because bronzers are kind of bronzers, you know what I mean? Like they all have like, you know, a fairly similar tone, a fairly similar like shade. Like it's not like a highlight where you're like, whoa, like it blows you away, or even a foundation. Like it's just not one of those products that usually just like takes me by surprise and like blows me away, but this is honestly doing that. And I don't know if I could tell you the last bronzer that I felt like really impressed me. Okay, so I love that. So then for blush, kind of keeping along with this like really bronzy, kind of like summery look we have going on, I'm gonna try one of these new e.l.f. These are called their primer infused blushes, I believe. This is in the shade Always Spicy, and I really like this one because it's like almost like a reddish toned bronzer, but it's a blush. But I figure this will be really nice as a blush because it'll kind of give you that like, you know, when you're in the sun for a little bit too long, you get like a little bit of burn right on your cheekbones and it looks like so cute. I just think that's like the cutest look. So I figured this would kind of give me that look. So I'm gonna put this on with my Luxie. This is a foundation brush, which I don't know why, but oh, okay. That's pigmented. Use a light hand. I honestly didn't even like take a lot of product up. I literally just dipped my brush in, and that's pigmented. And kind of to give me that like almost like sunburned, sun-kissed kind of look, I bring it like all the way up to like my nose basically. That's pretty nice. I feel like this would be the kind of blush that would go with like just about anything. And it blends like right into the bronzer really naturally, so there's not like a really clear line between where your blush starts and your bronzer starts. I'll put some on my nose too. I feel like that kind of adds to like the little sunburned, sun-kissed look. I'm in here, I'm filming. But you can come in. So I really like that. That looks really nice with this bronzer. I'm pretty sure this is definitely like a matte blush for sure. Like it doesn't seem to have any shimmer in it whatsoever, but do you guys see how like luminous my face still looks? Which I only put the butter bronzer down here, not like up here, so I'm wondering if that's still like the foundation even showing through my powder, which the powder was just like a really thin translucent powder, so it might still be peeking through because it wasn't like a powder with any kind of coverage. I think the foundation is like luminous enough to show through other products like powders. Even though I put blush and bronzer on and face powder, it's still super glowy. And I feel like the problem with a lot of luminous foundations is that even though they're luminous when you first put them on, once you're done with your makeup, they're not luminous anymore because they're all covered up. But if it can hold on to its glow underneath products, that's like a seriously good quality, and that's gonna be what will like sell me on a foundation, you know? So sorry that the light is on back there now. My fiance just got home from the gym and he's showering, so that's just gonna be there now. It is time for probably my most exciting part of this video. I'm going to try out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. I'm not usually one to like fall for high-end highlighters just because there's so many really good drugstore highlighters from so many brands that it's just like, do you need to spend $30 on a highlighter? Probably not. And are any highlighters really that different from what's already out that you need to splurge on it? Probably not, but I really just, as you guys know, love collab products. I really love Anastasia. I have a lot of her palettes. I just really feel like her products are very good, and I just love collabs. I'm like a sucker for collabs. Plus, I feel like this highlighter was very hyped up, and like for a good reason, because everyone's just saying it works for literally every single skin tone, from pale to medium to deep. Like, it works for everybody. It's like some kind of magical universal highlighter, and I was like, I've got to try that. Babe, I'm filming. The packaging is also just like irresistible. I have not touched it, I have not swatched it. Literally none of these products I even opened before this video. You know what else I love about this formula? It's like so, I don't know if it's baked or like whatever, but it's so hard pressed that when you push into it, literally not a single bit of powder like kicks up. All right, here we go. It's time. I didn't pick up a lot of products because I kind of just want to see how buildable it is. Ooh, that looks really good on the camera, because do you see how it just like melted into my skin? It just literally looks like it was there all along. Like, you literally can't even see like the stripe where I put it. It just completely like dispersed itself onto my skin. Yeah, this is definitely not glittery at all. It's like just a beautiful sheen. When I first saw this, I was like, that's very gold. Gold, A, is not my favorite type of highlight, and B, typically doesn't work for me because I'm a little bit lighter of a complexion, and usually gold will kind of be a little bit stark. But then when I like saw people using it, I was like, maybe that's not as gold as it seems, and it's definitely not as dark as it seems. So I'm gonna build this up a little. And I totally do think that $30 is like a lot for a freaking highlighter. Like I said, especially when there's 1,000,001 already on the market. But this is a massive pan size. There's never gonna be a day you use this up. Like, you will die before you use this up. So if you think about it that way, you know, that you'll never have to replace it, it kind of seems like it's kind of worth it. Wow, I just love that I can like just do a light dusting, because I always like to put some highlighter on my forehead, and I love that I can just do a light dusting and it looks just like really natural, like a nice like kind of natural glow, but then you can also build it up and get that really like wet look too. I feel like there's like no other highlighters on the market that can fit so many skin tones and can be natural and blinding. So that's kind of why I was like, this is gonna be worth the splurge, because if there's one product that can work for so many people and in so many ways, I think that's unique, and I don't think that that's happened before. And for something that unique, it's worth giving a try. So now that our base is done, we are going to move on to eyes. And I grabbed the Urban Decay Kristen Leanne Daydream palette. I originally was not going to pick this up, but I did hear a lot of good things about this collection. I actually grabbed the highlighter as well in a different purchase, and I haven't tried that out yet, but I do love collabs, as I've said before many a time, so I really wanted to pick this up. And I just love the I really like the packaging on this. It's like plastic packaging, like it's not like cardboard, so it's like really sturdy and heavy duty. Like, I feel like it's like waterproof. Like, I feel like you could like put this in a pool. I don't know why you would, but you could. So this is what the palette looks like. I think it's so cute because it's like got frosting, I feel like. Is that frosting? I feel like that's what it looks like to me. This is what the palette looks like. It only has 5 shades, but I think that they're just like the perfect shades to have included. I also just love how the fact that the inside is like all florally. Like, isn't that just pretty? I am just going to do a pretty natural eye look. So I'm going to start with this like pretty just plain matte cream shade. You know, I love when palettes include a matte cream shade, and I'm just gonna kind of set my whole entire lid with that. And I'm gonna use like the little flat kind of shader end of this brush. I just feel like it was very important to have this shade in this palette, and I'm so glad they did that, because I feel like that's just a necessity in literally every single eyeshadow palette. So I'm just gonna switch over to my big fluffy brush and take the next shade, which is called Daydream. And I'm just gonna blow this out into the whole entire crease. they're blending out really well, and I like this shade. This is like a very nice neutral kind of muted brown, which is a perfect transition shade. Pretty. I like it. And then I'm actually really excited for this middle shade. It's called 1212, and it's like a corally, kind of like peachy, pinkish, like melon shade. I want to call it melon for some reason. And I'm gonna also kind of layer this into the crease too, and I think it's just gonna make it a lot warmer and kind of contrast with that first. Looks with it, and it's just like all the shades you would need just for like a very, very basic eye, kind of like an everyday. Okay guys, so I just went ahead and finished up the rest of my face. That palette is all matte, so I did have to just use I just used a little bit of a highlighter, this JCat You Glow Girl Baked Highlighter. I just put a little bit of that on my lid to add a little bit of pop. I'm not one for like an all matte look, but I do really like this because I feel like you can use this for the majority of your look, and then, you know, like I did, just use a highlighter or another palette if you want a little pop of shimmer on your lid. I used that highlighter on my lid, on my inner corner, and on my brow bone, threw on some mascara and a nude lip. This is the e.l.f. Touch of Nude lipstick, and I love this because it's so subtle, but I just think it looks so nice literally with anything. So this is the completed look. I honestly think we batted like 100% with every single thing that I tried. The foundation is wonderful. I feel like it looks so, so good. I love the coverage. I didn't even add, I don't think I mentioned this, but I literally only put that concealer under my eyes. I didn't put concealer anywhere else. I didn't really have much else to cover, and I liked the coverage as it was. I feel like it let my freckles show through, but it covered what I needed to cover, you know what I mean? Concealer is really good. I'm gonna check and see what the next shade up from that is and see if that would be worth trying. The bronzer, that Physicians Formula Butter bronzer is to die for. You guys have probably all already tried it, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it. The Anastasia highlighter is as good as everyone is saying it is. I think that it's definitely worth the money. I would definitely check it out if I was you. At least just swatch it, because I feel like whatever skin tone you are, you'll like it. And whether you like a bolder highlight or a more subtle highlight, I think that you can make this do that. Like, look at it on my forehead. Like, you can see it, but it doesn't like look like I have highlighter there, you know? I don't know. I feel like it's like magic. Like, how did they make a highlighter that does so many things and works for so many people? And the palette, I really do like how this eye look came out. Like, it's definitely nothing, you know, new or different or exciting, but I think it gets, you know, it works nice. I like the shades. It's very simple. Probably have something like it already in my collection, but I'm just a sucker for an eyeshadow and collabs, so I had to have it. I think that's pretty impressive to have like 100% of the products you test out in a like first impression kind of trying new makeup video work out. So I think that we did incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have tried or are going to try out any of these products, definitely let me know. Let me know your experience with them. If you have any recommendations for other products, I would love to hear them, because I always am looking for new products to try out. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have a ton of fun here. And until next time, I'll catch you guys in our next video. Bye guys.